Welcome to the CHCH Newsmakers podcast. I'm your host, Rick Zamperin. If it is making news in Hamilton, Halton, and Niagara, across the country or around the world, rest assured, I will tackle it on Newsmakers. And today, we're talking about the world-famous Bruce Trail, its history, its significance, its wonder, and its future. And joining us on Newsmakers is Michael McDonald, the CEO of the Bruce Trail Conservancy. Michael, welcome.
Thank you so much. A great pleasure to be here.
Let's get a Bruce Trail 101. Tell us about this natural wonder.
Okay, amazing. So the Bruce Trail is Canada's oldest and longest footpath, and it's a great Hamilton conservation success story, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But essentially, it follows the Niagara Escarpment, which is this UNESCO World Biosphere. It's an important place on the planet, and the trail winds through there. And so essentially, it's about 900 kilometers long. And so if you were to hike every day for about 8 hours, it would take you 30 days to hike the whole trail.
Wow.
So it's a daunting task, but a beautiful task and a beautiful adventure for people that are up for it.
Yeah. How did you get involved?
You know what? I grew up in Hamilton and was lucky enough to live near the Bruce Trail. And so a lot of family time was spent out on the trail finding turtles and snakes and just exploring the Bruce Trail. And that sort of sparked a lifelong love for nature. And then I kind of went to university, worked for a marketing company for about 20 years, but I kept feeling myself pulled towards wanting to get involved with the Bruce Trail. So 2019, they were looking for a new CEO, and I thought I'll take my private sector skills and bring them to the not-for-profit world, and it's been an awesome ride.
How did this all begin? This is a trail that stretches from the Niagara region all the way to Tobermory. How did it start?
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing story. So we're back in the early 1960s. It's like the awakening of the environmental movement. Rachel Carson writes her book, Silent Spring, and we're starting to realize that humans are having a real impact on the environment. There is a nature lover named Ray Lowes who works for Stelco. He's a metallurgist, and he was part of the Hamilton Naturalist Club. And he had just spent some time on the Appalachian Trail, and he had like a light bulb moment. And essentially what he thought was, no one understands how important or special the Niagara Escarpment is. And so if we build a trail, people will spend time on the trail and they will fall in love with it.
Right.
And once they fall in love with it, they'll want to protect it. And so that really was the origin of the Bruce Trail. So for over 60 years now, this beautiful, awesome, contiguous trail exists for people to explore for free.
Now, it didn't start as a
ending up in the Bruce Peninsula, which we actually refer now to as the Saugeen Peninsula. Okay. But essentially, there were some existing trails in the Niagara area. There were a few trails in the Hamilton area. But really, the Bruce Trail set about picking what we call the optimum route, which is what is the best place for the trail to be that shows off the beautiful features of the Niagara Escarpment. And so we call that the optimum route. And so that was developed, and that's been our guiding light for the last 60 years. We're really trying to secure the trail permanently along the optimum route.
How long did it take to get to its, I guess, completion, for lack of a better term, or current state?
Yeah, it's, you know, from the original inception of the trail, when they sort of had the idea, they got a little bit of funding from the Federation of Ontario Naturalists, which is now Ontario Nature.
Right.
But essentially, this is one. He turns 97 in a few days.
Oh, wow.
And it's our last living founder. But essentially, he was tasked with going out and trying to convince landowners to allow the trail to cross their property. I think that's one of the great, beautiful stories of this, is that this really is a community initiative that happens for 900 kilometers long, where people are gifting access to their land through the Bruce Trail. And so Philip went and held town hall meetings all along the escarpment and really ignited the imagination of the public that Canada could have a world-class, amazing trail.
Wow. How are those discussions now with those current landowners? Is there any back and forth? Are they okay? Because we know that, you know, there's a housing boom, or at least we want a housing boom in this province. I'm sure some of those lands might be in the way. How does that work?
Well, right now, I sort of at the beginning that the Bruce Trail is a great conservation story. So really what we're trying to do is to protect the land around the trail.
Right.
So the way we define that, we think about it as a conservation corridor that contains the trail. So we have about 16,000 acres that we own that is under our care. But our mission and our goal really is to sort of raise funds and purchase the rest of the land or have it donated to us, which is really special when that happens. But essentially to bring permanence to the trail. So right now, for anybody that's out there enjoying the Bruce Trail, there's 600 places where private landowners are still allowing people to cross their property. And again, that's just inspiring. What a great gift to the community to allow that to happen.
I was doing some research on the Bruce Trail, and I was just amazed at the fact that some people have traversed the whole thing.
Right.
Maybe not in 30 days, as you mentioned earlier, but throughout a year or a couple years.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's so fascinating. One of the great joys of being the CEO of the Bruce Trail Conservancy is that when someone completes an end-to-end, they let us know and send us their log. Logs
Really?
and see what they did. But sometimes those logs are just Excel spreadsheets that say I hiked from here to here. But oftentimes they're journals and poems and music and movies. People really celebrate this important time in their life. So I know of people that have done it contiguously, like they did it in, let's say 30 days,
Right.
just nonstop. And then there are other folks that I just recently signed end-ends for a mother and daughter. It took them both 40 years to complete the Bruce
Wow.
Trail.
No way.
So it can be whatever you want it to be. It can be a little bit of adventure or a long adventure, but yeah, you can chip away at it as you wish.
Yeah. Is there a threshold to meet in terms of getting an official account in the logbook?
Yeah, so essentially you have to record, just essentially keep a log of dates that you hiked and distances that you hike. It's a little bit of the honor system. We don't call people and check to But you know what? It's a great way for people to sort of capture the distances that they covered. And again, for some people, it's about adventure and doing it quickly. For other people, it's about taking your time and enjoying the species that live along the Niagara Escarpment.
Right. And it's a very special place because you mentioned species. There are animals. This is their habitat.
Yeah. This is the great thing that I always love to tell people about Hamilton is we're sitting directly beside the Niagara Escarpment, which is a special place on the planet. There are species there that this is one of the only places in the whole world that exist. And we get to see them on a daily basis. So the other important part of our work is that there are 91 species at risk of a conservation concern or threatened, and we're providing habitat for them to be able to exist. And so, yeah, you know what? It's whether you like snakes or birds or turtles, or as you get further north, bears and Massasauga. You have to be aware for sure, but it's exciting, and those wildlife encounters are really special for people.
Back to the logbooks, you mentioned some are very basic in terms of distance or point A to point B. Others, you get special notes. Does one or a few of them stick out to you in terms of reflecting on what people have written?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, what fascinates me is that people from all walks of life hike the Bruce Trail. I know of an astronaut that's done it.
No way.
Doctors, anybody that really wants to get out and enjoy nature. And that's part of our mission. It's about free public access. Like anyone can do it. But I think, sometimes you get letters that people are processing grief, like they lost a loved one. And so they're hiking the Bruce Trail as a means of healing.
Right.
Other times, I know of a gentleman that basically created a movie as he hiked along the Bruce Trail and wrote music along the way. And that movie, you'll see a really talented musician sort of sharing his love for nature in a unique way. Yeah.
Is it an international or even a national draw in terms of people are coming from far away to take part in what is a natural wonder?
Yeah, so it really is a world-class trail system, and that's something we're really proud of. And I really need to make sure that people understand it's entirely maintained by volunteers. So that's a really special part of our story, too. But people do travel from around the world to hike the Bruce Trail. We've got log books at different places for people to sign, guest books of sorts. And yeah, there's people from all over the world that come. And one of the cool things about the Bruce Trail Conservancy is that we're part of the World Trails Network. So there are trails obviously all around the world, but what we do is, the concept of twin cities. We've got trail twins that we partner with. So imagine you're hiking a place in Taiwan. I think that's a really special, fun part of our story. And I'll just share also that this year, we just became the Bruce Trail headquarters in Dundas, Ontario. We just became the global headquarters for the World Trails Network. So that's right here in Dundas, Hamilton. Pretty awesome.
Does something special come with that designation?
Just that we're a big champion for trail systems around the world, and the Bruce Trail is a world-class trail system, and our VP of Operations, Jackie Randall, is the chair of the World Trails Network, and we just really want to share our love for trails around the world.
You mentioned volunteers. How many volunteers do you have, and what do they do?
Yeah, so we've got about 1,500 volunteers, which again is a really fantastic. They're incredible human beings that give in any way that they can. Some people love to get out there and maintain the trail, and so somebody has to paint those, and there's probably millions of them, spanning the 900 kilometers.
Is it literally millions?
Both directions, yeah. And so volunteers do that, but then we also have to, trim some of the growth that happens along the trail and make sure it's safe and passable, and that people can properly find their way through. So that's one of the ways volunteers give back. We also have volunteers at our office that help send out mail or, call people to renew their memberships. There's any kind of way that you can think about giving back, we can find a way to plug in, and we're so grateful for their talents and their time.
I've been on the Bruce Trail. It is a wonderful, I haven't been on the whole thing, that is for sure, just in the Hamilton area. And I also know there's side trails as well. Tell us about the side trails. How many are there?
So there's 900 kilometers of main trail. So that's the white blazes that you would see. That means you're going to either end up in Niagara Falls or in Tobermory. That loves badges. I think a lot of hikers, badge culture is a big part of it, but there are badges for hiking the whole Bruce Trail. There's badges for hiking side trails. There's badges for finding birds. There's badges for finding fossils. You can explore the Bruce Trail in so many ways.
The side trails, do they eventually come back to the main trail?
Yeah, so the side trails act as connection points up to the main trail, or they allow us to have loops. So, you can hike on the Bruce Trail, the main trail, take a little loop and end up on a side trail and end up back on the main trail again. So it's a fun way to do an in and out of the Bruce Trail.
Has anyone, I'm sure the answer is yes, done the main trail and all the side trails?
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Many people. In fact, right now, the Bruce Trail's been around just over 60 years. We're getting really close to the number 5,000 of end-to-enders. So there's been less than 5,000 people so far have hiked the whole Bruce Trail, but I know there's a big competition out there right now amongst hikers who's going to get number 5,000.
How close are we?
So we're about 30 away right now. So
wow.
If you've got 30 free days, Rick, you could be number 5,000.
8 hours a day.
Yeah, that's
I'm booking vacation right now. We were talking about volunteers. Are these the Trail Angels?
So Trail Angels is another great way that people volunteers. So those are folks that the Bruce Trail is linear. So it means, you often have to start on a hike out somewhere, and then hike back to your car or to your bike or to the HSR, whatever. But Trail Angels are people that essentially agree to pick you up at a spot and drive you back to the original. So that's one of the ways that you can sort of complete long distance hiking, because if you're going to hike for 30 kilometers, you don't want to have to hike 30 kilometers back to your car.
I was thinking that's what people were doing.
Yeah. So that is a strategy. So we talked about the end-to-end before. There is a hiking strategy. It's called the double-double.
Okay.
Where you've kind of done the trail twice, right?
Wow.
And so you get 2 end-to-ends at the end if you do it that way.
Holy cow.
Pretty amazing.
Do we have many of those?
There are probably, I'm aware of about 50 people that have done that. So
that's extra special.
Yeah, extra special for sure.
The land acquisitions, you mentioned there are many privately owned lands. Is the Conservancy in the business of acquiring some of those lands, or are you fine with the agreement as is?
Yeah, no, we're really hopeful to bring those lands into permanent protection, because landowners do change. And, imagine in a scenario where someone buys a property and finds out there's a trail in there, maybe they don't want that. So the best way for us to protect the Niagara Escarpment is for us to own those lands. And so we're on a mission to raise funds to be able to buy those lands. And you're probably aware, like, land prices are really gone up in the last couple of years, and that's a really expensive part of our work. But
money standpoint, are you actively fundraising to build up that treasure chest?
Yeah, we're actively fundraising every single day, and there's lots of different ways that people can participate. We've got a membership, so you can join the Bruce Trail Conservancy, and that helps towards that raising of the funds. But we also have lots of private donations. Over 11,000 people last year donated to the Bruce Trail Conservancy, which is amazing. And a really exciting thing that happened this past year was that we had 2 donors step forward that really loved the Bruce Trail and said they wanted to help in a big way. And so every time we raise $15 million, they're going to kick in 5.
Wow.
And so we're on a mission right now to raise $60 million. So we're working really, really hard to connect people with the importance of our work.
That is huge. Congratulations on that, and good luck in hitting that goal.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We live on the escarpment, or many people do. There's undulations and then some. This is not just a flat walkway.
That's right. Yeah, the Niagara Escarpment itself, people often joke that the Bruce Trail is on an incline, both going in and out.
It's like walking to school back in the day.
Back and forth, yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, the goal of the Bruce Trail was to sort of showcase the Niagara Escarpment itself, and that often means walking along the escarpment edge, which means you have to go up and down, and that happens several hundred times over the course of the 900 kilometers. So some of the inclines are way more steep than others, but it's a great fun adventure. And I think in a world right now where many people live on their screens or on their computers, the fact that in our own backyards here in Hamilton, we've got access to a world-class trail system that really can challenge you is pretty awesome.
Are there some do's and don'ts when you're on the trail?
Yeah, so I think we want people to only take memories from we want people to enjoy nature in its natural state, so not to be foraging, not to be collecting plants, just to get out there and enjoy it. And so that's really the best way. You also want to prep for your hike in the right way, especially in the heat wave that we're in right now. Like, water is critically important, and people can get dehydrated pretty fast. But there's a great community. We've got 9 volunteer clubs that are situated all along the Bruce Trail. That's how we sort of organize the maintenance of the trail. And those clubs facilitate hiking 101 classes to teach people how to engage with the Bruce Trail, and it's a really fun and supportive community.
You talked about hiking in the heat. What about the winter time?
Yeah, the winter. So the Bruce Trail is open 365 days a year, and lots of people hike in the winter. And so here in the Hamilton area, we haven't really had a lot of snow, but as you move further north, people do cross-country skiing, and they also snowshoe. It's well-loved year-round, and that's part of the joy of it.
Do you have a highlight of the Bruce Trail, an area where maybe it's a special place for a personal reason, or just it looks spectacular?
Yeah, that's a really hard question because it's so beautiful and it's so different.
It is so different.
It's so different, right? I mean, down here, it starts off in Niagara, where there's a lot of biodiversity that people don't realize, but you wind through wineries and farms, and then you kind of get to Hamilton, and the trail literally bisects the city. You hike right through the city, and you come down the Jolly Cut. And I think that's exciting to sort of emerge from an urban area and pop back into the forest. But then as you get further north, you start to get up towards Georgian Bay and Lake Huron, and it's just so beautiful. So it's hard to pick a place. I think in Stony Creek and Grimsby, there's some beautiful places that aren't well traveled that I the heat is dissipated quite a bit and the colors are out. So fall is sort of a cherished time for hiking along the Bruce Trail.
For those who are serious trailers or trekkers, or even the not so serious, there's apps, there's maps, of course you mentioned, there's clubs as well. There's something for everyone.
Yeah, you know what, there really is. That's what's awesome about the Bruce Trail. You can enjoy it however you want to. So lots of people just go out on the Bruce Trail after work and walk their dog or with their family, but it can be a pretty serious adventure if you want it to be too. So it's whatever you want it to be, and I think that's what's special about it.
Let's talk about the future of the Bruce Trail. What do you envision for it?
Yeah, you know what? We're really working hard towards securing the trail forever, and I think that's critically important. Part of our here in Southern Ontario, so we're working really hard on that front. And then the other reason is sort of with climate change and the biodiversity crisis, we want to protect habitat for as many species as possible. So the future of the Bruce Trail is about finding permanence for us and completing this conservation corridor, and I think we're really, really focused on that. The other thing that's, I think, exciting about our work is that we believe that when people are connected to natural places, we can get better conservation outcomes. So we want to invite people back out to explore nature and to, again, get off those screens and come see the real beauty that's out there. And I think our ability to connect people with nature is going to be an important part of our future.
Is there going to be some kind of light bulb or shining star in the sky to signify when you're going to achieve that goal?
Yeah, you know what? We're working. So, as quickly as we raise funds, we work hard to try and secure more land, and that's critically important. But on the flip side of that, too, we're working really hard to sort of amplify our voice and let people know about this great asset in their backyard. And we've been inviting all kinds of new communities to come explore the Bruce Trail, and that's been fun, too.
Do you have any tidbits or unique information that people don't know about the Bruce Trail?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think people are often probably surprised about the length. Like they know, a lot of people know the Bruce Trail, but they don't know where it goes or where it starts. The other thing, a lot of people don't know that there's an organization behind the Bruce Trail. They just think that, oh, the government takes care of it. It's just there. But there's, 26 dedicated staff and 1,500 volunteers and then 70,000 supporters that help to make this all work. And so I think that's a pretty unknown part of our story, for sure.
Whether it's reflecting on the logbook, popular part of the trail, or maybe the most traveled part of the trail.
Yeah, so in the Saugeen Bruce Peninsula, I think during the pandemic they saw huge surges of people when, remembering, going outside was the only thing that you were legally allowed to do, and so of course that's what happened. But so the Saugeen Peninsula has had to put in reservation systems in a lot of the national parks and provincial parks, of which the Bruce Trail winds through. So we go through 45 conservation areas, many provincial lands, many provincial parks, and through the national park at the end. And so, again, I think all of those places are popular and well-loved, but Instagram helps create hotspots for sure.
Very much so.
Yeah,
you see a photo or video of the Bruce Trail, you say either to yourself or your family, hey, we should go visit that part of the trail.
And you know what? They are beautiful places, but what I would argue is that with 900 kilometers, we can spread out a little bit. Of course, the hotspots are often the waterfalls. Those are big attractors, but again, the waterfalls are only possible because of the Niagara Escarpment and the way that the landform sits. And so it's an important part of our story. Before we wrap up, I do want to ask you where people can get more information, whether they want to join a club or become a volunteer or donate to the cause. That's great. So you can check out the Bruce Trail Conservancy's website at brucetrail.org. And, people can donate money, they can donate their time, and there's lots of different ways to get involved. So I would invite anybody that's interested in nature or hiking or adventure to get on out there, and it's an exciting organization. Michael, thanks for the time today. I'm glad we invited you to learn more about the Bruce Trail and the Bruce Trail Conservancy. I'm sure our audience has learned a lot today as well. Oh, thanks so much, and I'd love to have you out for a hike sometime, so absolutely. I'll sign you up. Yes, maybe not in the winter or wherever bears are. I'll take you in the fall. Thanks for the all-star cast behind the scenes. If you like today's episode, click the thumbs up, hit subscribe, and leave a comment. Catch the Newsmakers podcast on chch.com/podcasts and wherever you get your favorite podcasts.